Hello, welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And tonight we have a packed show, including Meghan dropping her mask and apparently being ignored by Michael Bublé. He claims that Harry wants to be a half in royal, and there are talks with King Charles. And one very important announcement that I want to make at the end of this video. But let's start with this clip, courtesy of Harry's gray suit on Twitter. We can see that Meghan is giving her classic smile. Yeah, but all of a sudden we see that it changes, it transforms into something else right there. Oh my God. Yes, it's a classic sleep from Meghan, a mask sleep. We have seen it so many times that we could catch that one in our sleep, in the middle of a nightmare that is. There you go again. That happened right next to Michael Bublé's wife, Luisana Lopilato. I don't know what is going on with this picture, by the way, but I just wanted to include it because it looked interesting. But it so happens that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are given a Canadian send off with Michael Bublé singing Sinatra classic with rewritten lyrics saying the Dukes earned the right to say I did it my way and offering healing wishes for the king amid his cancer battle. Well, first of all, isn't this the same Michael Bublé who had this extremely concerning behaviors with his wife during an Instagram live a few years ago? I do remember because this was one of the first videos that I analyzed on my original YouTube channel in Spanish. I don't know if you are a fan of him, and if you're a fan, I suppose that you have seen this clip. So, well, this speaks for itself. And that makes you see these kind of pictures in a completely different light, especially because of the joke that Harry did it his way. No, Michael, you should have dedicated that song to Meghan. Harry has never done anything his way. If you want to sing Harry a song, I think Loser from Beck is much more fitting. Equally as fitting is Luisana's body language here, getting like away from Meghan. Do you think she looks uncomfortable hanging out so close to the Duchess? And as for the claim that Bublé was ignoring Meghan in this clip, I think it's more like they must have met moments before. So no need to even acknowledge Meghan here. But Meghan looks like she didn't want to be ignored, and that's why she began pulling Harry a few seconds later. That's so her. But now let's talk about perhaps one of the most controversial articles in some time. From the Times, revealed Prince Harry seeks royal return to heal rift with King Charles. Duke said to have had warm exchanges with King after his father's cancer diagnosis. The Duke of Sussex is willing to return to a temporary royal role in support of his father during his illness, sources have revealed. The meeting last week with his father at Clarence House, at which the Queen was also present, did not provide time for a detailed discussion, but it is understood that Harry has made an offer to make a limited return to royal duties. A written plan would have to be drawn up, an action by the king and his closest aides before Harry and Meghan could embark on any official duties on behalf of the monarch. Harry would not receive public funds. And I know that what you're thinking, that this article is not official, it's all BS, and it should be dismissed. And I agree with you because from a long time ago, we have seen all kind of lies being pushed by the media, and it's so suspicious that it always benefits the articles in some way. But some of you pointed me in the direction of Rebecca English, who is one of the royal editors closest to Buckingham Palace. Her words, the answer to this is a firm no, I understand. King Charles will continue, of course, to keep the door ajar on a personal basis, But the royal family are in solid agreement that Queen Elizabeth II's belief any quasi-royal rule is unworkable still stands. Well, I was on Twitter arguing that maybe, just maybe, this time would be a good idea for Buckingham Palace to release a formal statement, making it clear that the Brexit arrangement still stands and there is no possibility of either Harry and Meghan of returning as working royals. Some of you affirm that the palace silence is best answer, but since we have seen these so-called coming back reports not only recently but from a long time ago, just a quick official statement from the palace would be of a great help to set the record straight. In all cases, this is a propaganda battle, and usually these kind of hit pieces are dismissed because it doesn't matter who wrote them. You need to remember that Harry himself, not 24 hours ago, was on an interview gaslighting about families coming together over illnesses. And this article hit almost simultaneously. And that is not a coincidence. That is synchronized and orchestrated to combine the 70-minute visit to the king, the photos in Canada, Harry's interview, and of course, the king's cancer diagnosis. So, no, this is not the Royal Rogue or Robert Jobson or Rebecca English or Kate Mansi. This is Harry from his own mouth claiming things. So, I, for one, would be delighted into watching how the palace just tells Gingerbread to shut up and stop spewing nonsense. But, well, we have arrived to the announcement that I want to make about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Because, okay, the palace can go full, never complain, never explain, but I cannot do that. I need to be doing something and saying something. That's me. That's who I am. And you might be aware that Lady Colin Campbell recently acquired the domain dukeandduchessofsussex.co.uk, and she's ready to hand it over to the Sussexes because their use of their domain sussex.com gives the misleading impression that it has something to do with Sussex County and its residents, many of which do not want to have anything to do with the Montecito morons. So I thought that I could also do something along these lines, and that's why today I announced that I have acquired the domain dukeandduchessofsussex.com. And you might be asking, are you out of your mind? But wait, here's my full statement. Even not being a resident of the county of Sussex, the Royal Rogue has been bemused by Harry and Meghan's hijacking of the county's name for their website. The geographic assignation of their title might share a name with the county, but they are not representatives of the county, nor do many of its residents share their values. In fact, many deplore what they represent, and it would surely have been more appropriate for them to have the more fitting title, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. The Royal Rogue has therefore acquired the domain name dukeandduchessofsussex.com and is prepared to take it down as soon as they cease to use the domain sussex.com, which is not only an imposition to the people of Sussex, but it's also an impertinence in that their website has nothing to do with the county, but the domain name gives the misleading impression that it does. Thanks to Lady Colin Campbell for the inspiration for this initiative. And meanwhile, this website, which is live now, you can go and visit it, take a look. It will be a gallery of the best of my AI creations dedicated to the articles. And before you ask, every image in this website has been artificially generated by digital means, including, but not limited to, artificial intelligence, Photoshop, and the Royal Rogue's inimitable genius. Here you will find classic gems such as Harry and Meghan eating arepas in Venezuela, Harry flying over the ocean, and record-breaking eggplant, and one of my favorite pieces, Return to Sender. So, you have my word. The moment Harry and Meghan cease and desist to use the domain sussex.com, I will take this website down. Meanwhile, you can enjoy all my creations there. So, my Royal Rogues, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. And remember to download my free 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And remember, much love and bliss.